Hi, I'm Slade, and this is a video of me talking about Mario Kart because I want to. Intros are hard. I have been playing Mario Kart for most of my life, starting with Super Circuit all the way back when I got my Game Boy Advance. Since then, it has been a constant in not just my life, but my family's as well, through Double Dash and Wii, and eventually 8. I always look forward to the next game. It's always an electric period of time when you get to see what new characters and courses are in the game, and what new gimmicks there are. Here's the thing. It's been a long time since I got that opportunity. Mario Kart 8 released 7 years ago, with the DLC wrapping up a year later. And while we did get some new content in the Switch release, and we do have Tour getting constant new updates, it just isn't the same as the buzz around a big new Mario Kart game. And I guess all that waiting's got me going a little crazy. I need new Mario Kart content, and I spend more time thinking about that than most people. I mean, it isn't unusual for people to consider what courses they want in the new game, or what characters, or even what they think the new gameplay elements will be. I went a little further with this. I basically planned out every element of the game. This includes the new core gameplay elements, characters, courses, items, battle modes, vehicle parts, and DLC. This isn't really a wish list, seeing as if I had absolute power, I would do a lot more. Neither is it really a prediction, because while some of the elements I think are possible or even likely, I don't really think this is how a lot of it will go down. This is what I would do if I was given the reins to make the next Mario Kart game, considering what is feasible for Nintendo to accomplish, as well as what I think would be beneficial from their point of view. This does kind of go awry at some points, and my inner fan just starts chucking things in because oh my god, how cool would that be? Trust me, you'll see what I mean when we get to the DLC episode. But for the most part, I've tried to not go too crazy. Also, for anyone who follows me on Twitter, this is going to be similar to the concept I already posted there. I have made some changes, but the main reason I wanted to make this video is to explain in greater detail the decisions I've made. This is going to be split into 7 videos, and each of these videos will focus on one of the elements I just mentioned. I was going to make this all one video, and I did start making the video that way, but I doubt anyone wants to watch a 40-minute video of some rando talking about how much he wants to charge and chuck in Mario Kart. This video is going to be the general information video. This will be covering the core features of this game, the big new gameplay changes, the new modes, that kind of stuff. Well, I guess let's jump into it. I firstly want to make clear, this would be a Switch game. Most of the concepts I've come up with do still work if the game's on the new console, but there are elements that would be incompatible with that situation, or just harder to implement. But I also just think it makes sense for us to get a new Mario Kart game on the Switch. People always say, oh, but Deluxe is selling so well, why cut it off? No. Think about it this way. If Deluxe has the scope to sell, say, 20 million units in the future, what will happen when Mario Kart 9 releases? The obvious answer is that Deluxe will stop selling. But people always say this without realising that these aren't lost sales, they are transformed sales. Nintendo would still be getting that 20 million sales, it's just coming from a different place. But then you have the additional sales potential from double dippers. There would be double dippers for sure, and as long as there's enough of these to outbalance the development cost of the game, it's a profit. But people always seem to claim that people wouldn't buy a new Mario Kart game if they already have Deluxe. Sure, there will be people who won't double dip, but acting like most Mario Kart fans wouldn't buy a new Mario Kart game, seeing how much power the franchise has, that's baffling to me. So most people's response is, well, just wait until Deluxe stops selling and then release the new game. That doesn't make sense either. Firstly, why would you wait for the game to slow down? That means you are deliberately letting Mario Kart sell less than optimal numbers for a time, and then you'd still have to make the game, which means even more time on relatively low sales. You don't wait for the game to stop selling, you preempt that. Not just that, but if they wait much longer, the window of opportunity is gone. If they release it too late in the Switch's life, the game's sales would be stunted. It wouldn't sell as much because the console it's on would have been replaced not too long after the game's release. So the choice essentially becomes release Mario Kart 9 later to maximise Deluxe's sales, or release it earlier to maximise its own sales. And seeing as a hypothetical new game has greater future sales potential, it makes the most sense to do that. Of course, many might say, just wait for the next console, but they could have the time to make the new Mario Kart and then make one for the next console, heck maybe even for launch. Or just port this game. Either way, having Mario Kart 9 on the Switch and then another Mario Kart on the next console is surely far more profitable than just having Mario Kart 9. Rant over. So, what's the big gameplay feature of this game? In the past we've had things such as bikes, gliding, anti-gravity and the like, but I actually want to return to an old feature for this game, the double dash mechanic. For those who haven't played it, Double Dash was one of the most unique games in the series, allowing two characters to take to one cart. The front player would be driving, with the back player manning items, as well as being able to assist in drifts and punching enemies for some reason. It was a great, unique mechanic, if a little half-baked, seeing as the back player isn't realistically able to do much. But the opportunities it offers up are too good to pass up, mainly that it would allow for up to 8-player multiplayer on one system. Smash has already made the jump to 8 players, but it's more difficult with split-screen games. Being able to use split Joy-Cons to have 8 players, 2 per cart, is a chance to make the ultimate party game just that little more ultimate. I actually regard this as very likely because, from what I understand, they've considered returning the mechanic before, and it's never made more sense to add them now. I would make some changes though. While a lot would remain the same, the punching mechanic wouldn't return. I don't think it's needed really. The back player's effect on drift would also be changed. Now, if the back player leans into the drift, they can help to reach the purple boost introduced in Deluxe. The real new feature, however, would be the ability to aim items. As mentioned, being the back player kinda sucked because the extent of your interaction was pushing a button to make something happen, maybe backwards or forwards depending on the item. Being able to fully aim items would make the back player's contribution meaningful. No longer are they just pressing a button the front player could do themselves, they are actually using the item in ways the front player simply can't. The general functionality would be that with certain items, holding the item button would bring an aiming reticle on screen, which you can then use to more precisely aim the item using a mixture of stick and motion controls, as you prefer. For other items, there would be an aiming arc instead. I'll go into more specifics in the items video. Of course, this would only work when aiming forwards, so aiming backwards would bring a wing mirror in the bottom corner of the screen for you to aim with. This would be smaller, so it would be harder to see and harder to aim, but being able to easily snipe your opponents from ahead would be a little overpowered anyway, so I think it's a fair compromise. Oh, and as it is the central mechanic of this game, double carts would also inform the name of the game, Mario Kart Switcheroo. It's a cheesy pun, but I like it. Next, I wanted to talk about the other big feature of this game, a new mode of sorts, Course Creator. This seems like a big ask. Mario Maker works because it's in 2D, that makes it inherently easier to work with. Would something in 3D work the same way? The answer, as with a surprising amount of things for Nintendo, is cardboard. Nintendo Labo's motorcycle game contains its own course creator. It's fairly basic really. You ET your bike around, leaving a trail which becomes the course, and you can tweak it as necessary afterwards. I don't know about you, but I feel like it has to have been a prototype for Mario Kart. It could work the same, except once you've made the template for the main portion of the track, you can fill it with obstacles from different courses. Maybe make the course themes based on the courses in the game as well. They have the bones, all they need to do here is add the substance to make it feel like we can make our own Mario Kart courses. And there's definite interest in this kind of stuff. Anyone ever heard of a little mod called CTGP Revolution? Then, of course, these could be shared online. I have ideas about this too. Of course, downloading them as single courses works, but as well as this, I think it would be cool to be able to group them up into cups, and then they could be downloaded that way as well. This could also work for real courses as well. Say for example you made a version of the Wii, GameCube and DS Rainbow Road, and you wanted to lump them in with Switcheroo's own Rainbow Road. You could do that, and then people could download it that way. Of course, you couldn't download DLC courses you don't have in your game. Like with the Double Dash mechanic, I'm pretty confident this will end up happening. After all, that mode in Labo seems so convincingly like a prototype for something greater, and it's not as if they're going to do this for F-Zero. That's the main stuff out of the way. There's just a few miscellaneous things I want to talk about here because there really isn't a more fitting place. Firstly, 200cc will be a base game edition now. I don't think anyone will be surprised by this. 200cc was popular and there's no reason to drop it now. Mario Kart TV would also return. It was a great feature, and the only real criticism I have would be that not being able to rotate the camera makes it frustrating when you want to see a better view of certain scenarios, so having greater camera controls would be much appreciated. Finally, I wanted to talk about options. I think one of the most frustrating parts about Mario Kart is that the inclusion of more options has been slow. Firstly, in versus races you should be able to do as many races as you want. Well, up to a certain point, but the game currently arbitrarily limits the options for how many races you can do in a versus tournament, and it's gotten worse over the years. In Mario Kart Wii, my family and I used to always do a versus tournament of 10 races. It was a pretty solid amount of races, not too long, not too short. Fast forward to 8, and the option to do 10 races is gone, instead with the closest options being 8 or 12. This seems like a really weird change, but even in Wii, if I want for some reason to do 13 races, I'm fresh out of luck. This is a small change, but one I wanted to highlight. Another small change, and maybe a useless one, is a loser picks course option. I think it's a cool idea for the loser of the last game to be able to pick the next course in order to play to their own advantage. Of course, you can do this yourself anyway, but I would still appreciate being given the option. Finally, items. I won't go into too much detail right now because I'm going to go into more detail on items in another video, but the ability to turn specific items on or off feels like a must at this point. Options and customization are never a bad thing, and being able to get rid of the blue shell or having nothing but blue shells would allow for crazy, wacky options, or the ability to just get rid of anything you don't like. You think the coin ruins the game? Get rid of it. Do you want only overpowered items to appear? The real question is why not? Are you a chimpanzee? Turn every item except banana peels off and live in a banana paradise. And that's basically it for this video. As I say, this was just the general information, and as we go on, the information is going to become much more specific to certain areas of Mario Kart. Next time I'm going to be covering the base game characters, so watch out for that one. And with that, yeah, outros are hard too.